The air inside ironclad MMA gym was thick with sweat, ego, and the sound of fists smacking pads. It was just another Saturday sparring session, and the regulars had gathered to watch Dylan Cross, the undefeated black belt and local champion, show off his new moves. He was confident, cocky, and loved having an audience. "Anyone else want to try?" Dylan shouted, spinning his gloves on his wrist as his friends laughed and clapped. That's when a small voice broke through the chatter. "I'll fight you." Heads turned. Standing by the door was a little girl, no older than 10. Her brown hair was tied in a messy ponytail, and she clutched her small gym bag like it was a shield. She wore a faded pink hoodie that barely covered her white karate uniform. The crowd burst into laughter. Dylan smirked. "You? Kid, this isn't a playground." The girl didn't flinch. "My name's Emily Carter," she said calmly. "My dad trained here before he passed." That made the room quiet for a second, but Dylan didn't catch the seriousness. "All right, Emily. I'll go easy on you," he joked, bowing mockingly. Emily nodded with quiet determination. She stepped onto the mat, slipped off her hoodie, and bowed properly, something Dylan hadn't even done. Her movements were sharp, disciplined. It caught the eye of Coach Ramirez, who stood at the back of the gym, arms crossed. "Start," he called out. Dylan lunged forward, throwing a playful jab to test her reflexes. But Emily wasn't where he thought she'd be. She slid to the side with lightning precision, grabbed his wrist, and twisted. Dylan's face tightened in pain. The crowd gasped. "What the?" he muttered, shaking out his hand. He came again, faster this time, but Emily dodged every strike. Her focus was cold, mechanical, like she'd practiced these counters hundreds of times. Within seconds, Dylan was off balance. One small trip, one perfect move, and the black belt hit the mat with a thud. The gym went dead silent. Emily looked at him, her voice steady but soft. "My dad always said strength isn't about size." And for the first time in years, Dylan didn't have a comeback. The silence inside ironclad MMA gym was so heavy, you could hear the buzz of the overhead lights. Dylan sat up, red-faced and embarrassed, rubbing his shoulder. He couldn't believe he had just been taken down by a 10-year-old girl. The audience stood frozen, unsure whether to laugh or applaud. Then one of Dylan's friends muttered, "Man, she just clowned you." The laughter erupted, and Dylan's pride burned hotter than fire. Emily quietly stepped off the mat and grabbed her hoodie, but Coach Ramirez called out, "Wait, kid. Where did you learn that arm lock?" She looked up. "My dad taught me. He used to train here a long time ago. His name was Michael Carter." The coach's expression changed instantly. Michael Carter. Everyone in that gym knew that name. He was once Ironclad's best fighter, a humble man with golden hands and a heart of discipline. But 5 years ago, he died in a car accident after leaving the gym late one night. His memory had slowly faded from the walls. Until now. "You're Mike's daughter," Ramirez said, his voice softening. "He was a good man." "The best student I ever had," Emily nodded. "He used to bring me here when I was little. I wanted to come back, to finish what he started." That hit Ramirez deep, but before he could say anything, Dylan stood up and scoffed, trying to reclaim his pride. "She got lucky, Coach. That was a fluke. Let me go again." Coach shook his head. "No, Dylan. You underestimated her. That's on you." The crowd murmured, some agreeing, others whispering about how Dylan had finally been humbled. The black belt clenched his fists, his ego wounded beyond repair. Emily bowed again, showing respect despite the tension. "Thank you for the match," she said softly, then walked out with quiet grace. As she disappeared through the gym doors, Ramirez turned to his students. "That little girl just reminded us what real martial arts means. Respect, control, heart." But for Dylan, it wasn't over. His pride had been shattered in front of everyone, and he wasn't about to let that go. He looked toward the exit, his jaw tight. "If she wants to fight," he muttered under his breath, "then she's gonna get one." And somewhere deep down, that vow would set off a storm neither of them saw coming. 3 days later, the ironclad gym was buzzing again. But this time, it wasn't about Dylan's winning streak. Everyone was talking about the little girl who dropped the black belt. Clips from security footage had been leaked online, and the video went viral in town. 10-year-old karate girl humiliates MMA champion was all over social media. Dylan hated every second of it. He couldn't walk into the gym without hearing whispers or seeing smirks. His confidence, the thing that once fueled him, was now cracked by a child's quiet strength. Coach Ramirez noticed the bitterness growing in him. "Let it go, Dylan," he warned. "That kid fought with more honor than you did that day. Maybe learn from it." But Dylan wasn't listening. He needed to prove to everyone that he was still the top fighter. So he waited until Saturday morning, when he knew Emily would return for her next training session. She showed up exactly at 8 a.m., her hair tied neatly, wearing her father's old white GI. She looked more determined than before. When she stepped inside, she froze. The entire gym was filled. Fighters, trainers, even a few local reporters who caught wind of the story. Dylan stood in the center, gloves on, smirk in place. "Glad you showed up, champ," he said mockingly. "You ready for a real fight this time?" Coach Ramirez frowned. "This isn't how we do things, Dylan." But Emily just nodded. "If you need a rematch to feel better, fine. But I won't fight out of anger." The gym went quiet again. That calm, confident tone, coming from a little girl, hit everyone harder than any punch. Dylan's pride, though, twisted the silence into rage. As they squared up, Emily closed her eyes briefly, whispering something under her breath. Those who were close enough heard it. "For you, Dad," the match began. Dylan came in strong, throwing sharp combos with full power this time. Emily dodged, blocked, and redirected every blow with graceful precision. She wasn't trying to humiliate him. She was teaching him. Then mid-combo, she caught his leg, spun, and swept him clean off his feet again. Dylan crashed down, and gasps filled the room. Coach Ramirez stepped forward, raising his hand. "Enough," he barked. The black belt lay there, panting. His pride shattered once more, and Emily simply bowed, just as her father had taught her. The crowd exploded into whispers again. Dylan sat on the mat, breathing hard, sweat dripping down his face. Emily, calm as ever, stood in front of him with her hands at her sides. No gloating, no smirk, just respect. That quiet humility somehow made his defeat feel heavier. Coach Ramirez approached slowly. "That's enough," he said firmly. "Emily, you've proven your point." But Emily shook her head. "It wasn't about proving anything, Coach. My dad always said fighting is never about pride. It's about control, about protecting others and yourself." Those words echoed across the gym. Ramirez felt his chest tighten. Those were Michael Carter's exact words from years ago. He remembered training the man, humble, fierce, and wise. It was as if his spirit was right there, standing through his daughter. The tension broke when Dylan suddenly stood up. His eyes, once burning with arrogance, now looked uncertain, almost lost. How? How did you learn all that? He muttered. Emily looked at him gently. My dad started teaching me when I was 5. He said I had to learn to stay calm, even when people laugh at you. Her gaze dropped for a second. He told me, people can hurt you with words worse than punches, but if you stay focused, they can't control your heart. The gym went silent again. Even the reporters who'd come for a headline stood motionless, sensing something deeper unfolding. Coach Ramirez stepped forward, placing a hand on Dylan's shoulder. You see, son, power isn't about how hard you hit. It's about how much heart you carry when you fight. That girl just reminded us of what martial arts truly is. Dylan exhaled deeply. His anger melted into shame. He looked down, then back up at Emily. I'm sorry, he said quietly. I treated you like a joke. I shouldn't have. Emily smiled faintly. It's okay. My dad said even good fighters forget their lessons sometimes. The crowd began to clap. Not for Emily's victory, but for her message. Even Coach Ramirez wiped his eyes discreetly. For the first time, Dylan extended his hand, not to fight, but to shake hers. Emily hesitated for a second, then reached out. Their hands met, a bridge between pride and purpose. But deep in her heart, Emily wasn't done. She knew her journey had just begun, and her father's legacy was calling her towards something bigger. A week after the rematch, the ironclad gym felt different. The energy had shifted. Less arrogance, more respect. Fighters trained harder, listened more, and bowed before every sparring session. Emily's quiet presence had sparked a change that no speech or rule ever could. Coach Ramirez had even hung a framed photo on the wall near the entrance. It showed Michael Carter in his prime, smiling after winning his last championship, and beneath it, a new plaque read, Honor, Control, Heart. The Carter Legacy. That Saturday, Emily walked in with her mother. The entire gym stopped training when they saw her. Dylan was the first to step forward, no longer the cocky champion, just a young man trying to make things right. Hey, Emily, he said sincerely. I've been practicing the techniques you showed me. I'd like to train with you if that's okay. Emily's eyes softened. Sure, she replied. Dad always said the fighters never stop learning. As they began training side by side, Coach Ramirez watched from a distance, pride swelling in his chest. He saw in Emily what every true martial artist dreams of: humility, purpose, and strength rooted in love. She wasn't fighting to be the best. She was fighting to remember. During a short break, Ramirez walked over and handed her something wrapped in cloth. Your father left this with me years ago, he said quietly. He wanted you to have it when you were ready. Emily unwrapped it carefully. Inside was her father's old black belt, faded and worn, but full of history. Her hands trembled as she ran her fingers over the embroidered name, Michael Carter. Tears filled her eyes. I don't deserve this yet, she whispered. Ramirez smiled. Maybe not today, but one day you will. You've already earned what matters most, his spirit. The gym clapped softly, not out of celebration but respect. Dylan bowed deeply to her, this time with genuine humility. Emily returned the bow, tears mixing with a proud smile. As the sun poured through the gym windows, lighting the photo on the wall, Emily tied her father's belt around her waist. Not to claim his title, but to carry his message forward. And in that moment, the entire gym realized something powerful. True strength isn't measured by victory. It's measured by the heart that refuses to give up, even when the world laughs first. Thank you so much for watching this story till the end. I hope you enjoyed it and maybe even learned something from it. If you'd like to hear more stories like this, full of life lessons, drama, and emotions, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you'll never miss an update. Your support means the world, and it helps me keep bringing you more inspiring and unforgettable stories. Stay tuned because more amazing stories are on the way.